Hi, this is Angela from Ovlay, and continuing with the Let Google Run Your Life series, I'm going to show you how to use Google Forms for your business. To get started, you just need a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, you can watch my tutorial on creating a Gmail account. And to start the form, all you have to do is go to this block of squares up in the right hand corner and go to Google Drive. I am going to do a Google Drive tutorial as part of my Let Google Run Your Life series. So if this is the first time you've used your new Google Drive, you'll see this tutorial, and of course you can click through and see what they suggest you do to get started, or you can just go ahead and follow this tutorial and come back to it later. I'm just going to click on Take Me to Drive. So to get started, you just go to New, More, Google Forms, and then you have the option of choosing a blank form or creating a form from a template. I'm just going to start with a blank form for this tutorial. This is the blank design, and so the first thing I'm going to do is customize it a little bit by uploading my logo. To do that, just go to this color palette. You have the option of going with these colors. As you can see, the form is already in a purple color, or you can click on this image, and Google has some stock pictures that you can choose from depending on what you're making your form about. And I'm just going to go to upload photos to get to my logo. And it's loading, and based on the color of my logo, it also changes the background color of the form. Unfortunately, this is one of the limitations of Google Forms. You can't really change or control the color of the background unless you go with one of these basic colors here, but then you can't control the picture at the top. And as you can see, my logo is cut off. The dimensions that they suggest you use are 800 by 200, and I'm not going to play around with the picture right now for the top of the form because that's not really important to me for this form, because this is just an example. But of course, depending on the form you're making, you can change that. Another option you have for customizing the background is if you want to control the color of the background, you can change the color palette to whatever color you like that they offer here. And then you can upload a picture at the top of the form. That's what I do. So to do that, you just go over here, and on the side, this little side menu, it shows you all of the things that you can customize your form with. You can add a question, add a title and a description, add an image, add a YouTube video, or add a section. And so what we're going to do is add an image. And then it's the same process of just searching for your image. And as you see, you can just drag this wherever you want. Right now, there's only one field right here, so there's really not much that I can do in terms of dragging it, but this is the highest that I can drag the image. And so you can give the image a title if you want, and then you can also give the form a title. And so for this tutorial, what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to make a guest blogging form, but of course you can create or customize a form for any purpose that you have. And then you can type a description of what the form is for. So now we're going to get started with actually creating the form. One thing that I like to do while I'm designing the form is to have the form open in another tab so that I can see the changes that I'm making. If you click on this eye, you can see the form. So that opens another tab. And so this is what the form looks like so far. So back to designing the form. Every time you create a new section, it creates a next button at the bottom. So it's like you're creating different pages. And I'll show you what that looks like. In order to create a new section below the area that you're working on, click on the lowest part of the form and then click whatever you want to add. So for this, I want to add a section. And so now it's automatically being saved. I can go to this tab and hit refresh, and you'll see that it shows this part, and then after that it's showing next. And so this is the second part that I just added. That's to keep in mind to decide how you want to design your form. I'm going to delete this because I think I just want to add onto the bottom of this section right here, and I'm just going to add a question. And since I'm doing a guest blogging form, I need to have their contact information. And so actually before that, I'm going to add a title and a description. Okay, now that I added that section, I'm going to go down to this section that I already added. And as you see, when you click on it, you have the option of having a short answer, a paragraph, multiple choice, and this option only lets you choose one. Check boxes, which lets you choose multiple or all of the options, a drop-down menu, a linear scale, multiple choice grid, date, and time. And since I'm going to be doing name, I'm just going to make that a short answer. And I'm going to require that they answer that. And then if you want to create a very similar question or has similar requirements, you can just click this button right here, which is to duplicate, and I'm going to make this. Again, that will automatically be required, and it will be short answer. When you hover over this text field, you'll see the image button appear, and that means that you can upload a picture. So if you have a picture that you want to include as a question, then it's really easy to just go ahead and click right there and upload your image. So I'm going to click duplicate again because I just want to have them give me a link to their blog. And I want to give them additional information about the question. So click on these three dots right here and it gives you some more options. So I'm going to click on description, and this will give me an additional field to type exactly what I mean by blog link. And now I'm going to add one more question for this section of the form. And for this, it's going to be a different format. I'm going to do check boxes. And to go down to the next option, all you have to do is hit enter. And as you see, it automatically gives you the option of adding other, and then that will give them the option of checking this box and then filling in their own option. And if you want to change or delete something, you can just hit these X's and it will automatically delete that line. So now I'm done with this section, and they've given me their name, their email address, their blog link, and they told me what they're going to write about. And I'm going to require that they fill this out because that's really important to this form. And so now I'm going to move on to the section where I ask them to send me examples of their work. So for this, I'm going to make it its own section. So I'm going to click add section. And just so you can see what this looks like, I'm going to go back to the example and hit refresh, and it's going to take me back to the beginning of the form. And as you see, it indicates that anything with an asterisk is required. And so that's what it looks like. It's going to show you this untitled section. So now with this section, I am going to give them the opportunity to give me up to 5 examples or 5 links to their blog work so that I can check it out and see if I like the way they write and if it's something that I would like to consider. So to do that, I'm just going to name this section. So now I'm going to add to the section by clicking the plus button, and I'm going to just ask them to give me a link. And I'm going to make that a short answer and require that because they have to give me at least one. And then I'm going to also do another question, and for this it's going to be multiple choice because I want them to only choose one. And as you see, it automatically gives you yes, no, maybe, and I'm going to just say add all and then just delete the maybe and keep that. So this is their first option, and I'm going to require that they tell me yes or no. So now I am going to duplicate this whole section by going up to these three dots that are right across from the section and clicking duplicate section. And as you see, it creates an exact duplicate of this section. And so I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to get rid of the description because they already know what they're supposed to be giving. And I'm going to keep this required because they've said that they want to give me a second example, so they have to give me a link, and I'm going to require them to answer this question also. But what is different is that I am going to go back up to the first example, and based on their answer to this question, I'm going to let them decide whether they want to move on to give me a second example or if they want to complete the form. And so to do that, I'm going to add one more section. And to do that, I'm going to click on the last section of section 3 and add another section. And this is just going to say thank you. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up to section 2, and based on their answer to this question, I'm going to give them the option to go to the second example of work that they can share with me, or they can go to the thank you section and just complete the form. So going back up to section 2, I'm going to click on the three dots at the very bottom of this last question and click on go to section based on answer. And so if they give me the answer yes, then that means they go to the next section, which is the second example of work. If they click on no, then they will go to thank you. And so I'm going to give them 3 more opportunities because as the form says, they can give me up to 5 links. So I'm going to click on duplicate section, and I'm going to name this third example. And that's really all that you have to do. And then go back up to now section 3 and click on go to section based on answer. If they say yes, then they're going to go to the next section. If they say no, then they're going to be taken to the thank you section. And click on this section and duplicate the whole section. Rename this 4th, and then go back up to the 4th section and click go to section based on answer, and it's just the same thing again. And last time, duplicate section, and I'm going to scroll back up to the 5th section. It's the 5th section, but it's the 4th example in case that gets confusing. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Go to section based on answer and keep yes as continue to next section and no as going to thank you. And then I'm going to scroll down to the 5th example in the 6th section, and then I'm going to delete this question because at the very beginning of the form I said that they could give 1 to 5 links. So I'm just going to click on this question and delete it. And if you're interested, you can also include a video. I did not do that in this form. It's very simple. You just click on the YouTube button and then you just insert a link, and that will insert a YouTube video directly into your form. If you want, it's very easy to also move sections of the form. So you can just click on these 6 dots and the 4-headed arrow will appear, and you can easily drag sections to wherever you need. And so now that this is saved, I'm going to go back to the other tab that has the form, Hit refresh so that it starts at the very beginning and fill it in so we can see exactly what it looks like. I'm just going to paste a link to one of my blog posts, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when you click on is there another link you would like to share, and it's going to automatically take me to next. And as you see this right here, the title is examples of work, and it has the description. And now I'm going to be taken to the second example of work. So I'm going to insert a link, and then I'm going to say no, that's it. Hit next, and it takes me to thank you. And then I can just click submit. So now that the form is created, I'm going to take you back to the editing page and show you some things that you can use to customize your form. So first, as you see, this is where the responses will come, and it lets you switch between seeing a summary, or you can see them one by one. And so this is individual, and the summary would be the same because there's only been one response. And so this is one way of viewing it, and you can see that there are bar graphs and pie charts, and depends on what your form is for, whether or not this is useful for you. I always have it automatically entered into a Google spreadsheet, and it's really simple. You just click on this icon and it creates a spreadsheet. You can decide whether or not you want to have a new spreadsheet, or if you want it to automatically be sent to a spreadsheet you already have. And so I always keep it with the responses there in parentheses so that I know what the form is for. And then it creates a new spreadsheet and automatically links it. And so every time somebody responds to this form, you will have the responses here, and you will also have them in your Google Docs spreadsheet. And the great thing about this is, especially for the form that I made, since I had links in it, the links are already here, and you will easily be able to follow the links that anybody shares with you.